After a day of making history in Cuba, Pope Francis was enthusiastically welcomed by the Mexicans. The screams of excitement haven't abated. This morning he started his day talking to the crowds who'd gathered outside his residence. Pope Francis made his way to the National Palace, streets lined with Mexicans chanting his name.
This is Pope Francis's first trip to Mexico. As a fellow Latin American, many people here see him as one of their own. But more than that, big expectations are being pinned on this trip, that what he says and what he does could have a big impact on the country's politics.
There's a feeling of disillusionment among Mexicans that the government's not done enough to curb the violence and corruption that's become so much of a problem here.
We Mexicans are fed up with corruption, violence, and the mediocrity of our ruling elites. Therefore, we are looking for alternatives, the Catholics and the non-Catholics, and the visit of the Pope can be an ingredient in the creation of this huge coalition.
In his first public address, he pointedly talked of the dangers of a society driven by greed and selfishness.
Sooner or later, society becomes fertile terrain for corruption, drug trafficking, the exclusion of different cultures, violence, and even human trafficking, kidnap, and death.
Pope Francis's presence is already being felt on the streets here in Mexico. In a country so often hit by violence, his visit offers a chance to talk about peace instead. Katie Watson, BBC News, Mexico City.